So why is it the only way we can talk about HR and innovation is in dark conference rooms, getting really buzzed on coffee or alcohol? Well, it's because we're A-plus personality types. We're talented, we're tenacious, and we're tired. We're tired of being the corporate wingman. That's the role we've put ourselves in. So what's the wingman? It's the guy that helps another guy get hot prospects in bars. You see, the wingman blocks and tackles all the undesirables, so the other guy gets the attractive women. Translation, the wingman does all the work, the other guy gets all the credit. It totally stinks. And I tell you what, else stinks is I see a lot of HR pros embrace this value prop that they need to block and tackle for everybody else so everybody else can be successful. Well, it's really easy to do because we've lost focus. If you go to the SHRM website, there are 14 HR disciplines, 14, from employee relations to talent acquisition to California. It's a crap fest. And then, of course, now we are responsible for culture and engagement, and of course now HR technology software. How many in here have actually gone through a software implementation? It is a barrel of laughs, I tell you what. So really, if you're in HR, you have one job, and that's to be a connector, to connect people to their professional and personal purpose. Everything else truly is just noise. Now, where do you start getting out of the wingman gig? Well, you create boundaries. So you got to get crystal clear on what you're good at. You got to admit to yourself and others what you're bad at. And then you've got to have the courage to say no to the things you're bad at. I mean, guys, I know it's very 12-steppy, but just work with me. So let's get Oprah's in. So Oprah would say, I've got to get clear on my boundaries and what I'm good at, and then I can say no to people that I'm bad at, and then I'm going to kill and crush my goals. And you know what? I'll get a car, and I'll get another car, and I will get another car, and I'll have my self-respect. All right, wingman, this is the greatest wingman of all time. Would you agree? Who is it? It's Goose, right. So you know what? He is the HR person that says yes to everything. What happened to Goose at the end of the movie? He died. Or we get so tired of the corporate runaround that we turn into this asshole Iceman, right? So y'all know the corporate runaround. Hey, Dawn, HR's a cost center. Can you do more with less? Or have you had one of these? It's a bathroom chat where you're in HR and you're just doing your thing, and somebody starts lobbing like benefits questions over the wall, and they're like, "Can you help me with the benefits enrollment form?" And I'm like, "Well, no." So what do? We go from saying yes to everything to saying no to everything. No, I can't help you. No, I don't want to help you. No, that is actually the dumbest idea I've ever heard. What do we do then? We flip the script and we go from saying yes to no, and we become the HR stereotypes everybody hates. Now some of you might say, you know what, I can be a wingman because I can multitask. No, you can't. Your brain cannot do two things at once. It's physically impossible. What it can do is context switch back and forth very quickly. Well, what that does is it eats up all the glucose in your brain and you lose your memory. The cognitive losses of multitasking is worse than dope smoking. So ask Willie, how's his memory? He forgot to pay his taxes and he'll be touring for like 135 years. The reality, though, is if you choose to be the wingman, if you say yes to everything, you lose your sense of self. And if you lose your sense of self, you lose your voice. And that really is worse than anything else. It's the worst thing a human can have happen to them. All right, so y'all know in the movie Top Gun, they say, I feel the need for? That's right. Well, if you're a wingman saying yes to everything, you will need a lot of speed to get through the day. You're also going to probably need a sedative to go to bed at night. All right, you don't want to be a wingman. I want you to abolish this term, that your employees are your internal customers. They are not your customers. They are your employees, they are your coworkers, they're your partners. But if they are a customer, it implies they're always right. Often they're not. Some of you might say, but I like being a servant leader. Frankly, I think that's great. Problem is, there's a fine line between being a servant and a servant leader. Servant leaders are proactive, servants are reactive. So here's the deal, to wrap this up, if you want to stay a wingman, know you're going to get burned out. You're going to ruin your brand. It's not going to be effective. You're going to make people angry. However, if you choose the other route, if you start to set boundaries, if you start to get clear on what you need to say no to, if you really know that you shouldn't be multitasking and you get rid of the servant mentality, here it comes, you can kick the wingman to the curb And be the HR hottie you always knew you could be.
Right.
Oh.
Woo! Love it, Dawn. You rocked it. Great job. Hug it out.